while I wait for the rain to stop so I can get back to work, I figured I'd make you guys a video. And this is going to be about Fannie and Freddie Mac using crypto as assets for mortgages. So, Fannie and Freddie Mac are two of the biggest. They basically write out loans. They are publicly traded, just so you guys know. You guys can go and buy them. They were publicly traded. It's a public company that you could buy. However, after the 2007 entire meltdown of the mortgage financial crisis, the federal government stepped in basically and was like, we're taking them over. And Trump might give them back to the private sector, but quite literally the federal government owns, I want to say own, that's kind of the wrong term to use, but they basically manage Fannie and Freddie Mac, which are publicly traded stocks. So you guys just go look it up. Okay. But using crypto. So I called my mortgage. I called my mortgage guy, and I asked him, what does this mean? How do you go about doing this? He goes, well, we've had these products for a while. He goes, but they're a nightmare to deal with. And basically what it is, like, say you bought crypto 10 years ago or 5 years ago, you're going to have to provide all of the documentation from where you originally sourced it, like all the way back to the original source. So if you went, say, 10 years ago, like me, and you had Binance, okay, and then Binance shut down and you had to move everything to Binance US, and then Binance US was like, and so we moved to Coinbase, and then we moved to Voyager or Gemini or Robin, whatever it is. You have to be able to source every single one of those transactions. And what it is you're going to have to liquidate it at time of closing as a cash value. So say you're buying a $500,000 house, right? And you got to bring $100,000 to the table. You're like, guys, I got 50 grand in Shiba. I got 50 grand in Doge. I want to use that as the collateral to buy the house. Okay. You have to liquidate those, right? Mind you, it's going to be a taxable event, assuming that based on whatever you paid for them versus what you sold them for. Obviously, if you lost money on it, that's not a taxable event. But if you have capital gains, it's capital gains. You got to pay taxes on it. You have to liquidate them for the fair market value to use them as the collateral, basically to cash, which kind of negates the entire reason you bought crypto to begin with, was to escape the dollar bill matrix, right? You bought crypto and now you're going back to cash. But mind you, let's not get into that. So I'm like, okay, so that sounds like a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. And he's like, it is. I hate doing it. It sucks. The products have been around for a couple years now. They suck to deal with. They're terrible. If you can avoid it at all costs, do so. So there is products out there. So that got me thinking, right? Because as all of these people go to rush into millennials, Gen Z, specifically, that have crypto, okay? And they go to rush in their Hawk Tua coin or their poop coin or their Trump coin or fill in the blank coin. Actually, that could be a good one. Fill in the blank coin. The big issue right here, right, is if everyone starts liquidating, or they're trying to. So say you have a I don't know, you got $100,000 in Hawk Tua, but there's no volume, meaning that there's no one on the other side of that. It might be worth $100,000, right, to whoever wants to buy it, but if there's no volume and there's no buyers, it's worthless. Goose egg. Zero. So then I had another thought. So back in, oh God, and I've been in crypto since 2012. It's been a long time. It's been a really long time. Bitcoin was like $300 a Bitcoin. Okay, that's when I got into Bitcoin. And of course I didn't save any because no one did, right? 2017 rolls around and I had just lost a bunch of money to Justin Sun, whatever, and with Tron. And Tron was supposed to be like the LimeWire. I think it actually replaced LimeWire, which if you guys aren't millennial, like Gen Z won't know what this is. Gen Alpha won't know what this is. Like back in the day, guys, before Pandora and we had smartphones, we used to just share our favorite music and movies and stuff through LimeWire. It was like person to person, but it was completely illegal. But we just did it anyways. So Justin Sun had bought like Tron. Anyways, that ended up like just going belly up. And because he's just a scam artist. So then 2017 rolls around and I'm like, and I went to a buddy of mine, his name's Adam. I'm like, why don't we just make our own? So I front ran the whole thing. I think like Ethereum was like $300 a piece. I had to sacrifice to Ethereum. I made my own ERC20 token, got it launched within like a week. The SEC, the Massachusetts from Boston division was at my house, shut me down, said, you can't do this. This isn't a regulated security. We don't know where this is going. You know, you have 24 hours to shut this down before we basically press criminal charges. So I shut it down, returned all the money to the investors. It was going to be great. The idea was that I was going to basically take the money, and I'd already set up nodes, and I was going to set up nodes which are going to generate profits, and right to keep the price and the value high. And anything like above and extra was going to go like in profits that we generated was going to be used to for housing for veterans and to help like single moms with kids with disabilities. That was the entire idea. It was doing very well for the first couple of days until the SEC told me absolutely not. Whatever. But now the whole Fannie Freddie Mac thing, maybe you guys can see where I'm going with this, got me thinking, well, if Haktua can just make a coin and Dave Portnoy and Trump and like all these other people, and they have no issue with the SEC whatsoever, like maybe I just go make a bunch of ERC20 coins again, put them on the open market, and then I can just go buy real estate. Right? Like if I have to find the original source of, and I'm not going to actually do this, guys, just so you know, like I'm not out to scam anyone. That's not, I have a moral compass. All right. I'm not like some piece of crap. But I was thinking like everyone's going to take advantage of this. Everyone's going to be out there and they're going to go, oh, I'm just going to figure out how to code, or I'll pay some software guy how to code. He'll make me my own token. I'll let it run up. It's a pay to play sort of thing, guys. It's like the same thing with if you want to introduce yourself an ETF or a stock or crypto. Like you have to pay Coinbase or Gemini or whoever. You have to give them money. You have to pay them in order for them to like list your asset as being tradable, above and beyond what it costs to get it registered with the SEC. Above and beyond that, and the filing fees and all that crap. It's a pay to play. But a bunch of people, I can almost promise you, are going to go, I'll just make Poop Coin 2.0 or a real estate coin 2.0, and I'll tokenize it. It'll run up, and then I'll just sell out, and I'll use the cash generated from the sellout, and I'm going to go buy the 16 plex down the street, or the 32 unit down the street. It's going to be federally backed, right, by Fannie or Freddie Mac, Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae, right, because they are now run essentially by the government, right? So they're backed by the government, and then I'll just rent them out to people with Section 8. 32 units, Section 8, I'll get guaranteed income from the taxpayers, and I just created something out of nothing. So I think that's going to be the next Ponzi scheme that's going to, I don't know if anyone wants me to talk anymore on this subject. I don't know. I see these things coming from a mile away. I know I hit targets no one else can see. I get it. Hey, look, the rain stopped. But now I gotta go rebuild this house that's being destroyed with termites. Actually, you know what? I'll add a picture to the end just so you guys can see what I'm building. Yeah, I don't know. I see this coming from a mile away. This is not going to be good. You could potentially see a, oh God. I bet you Richard Hart appears out of nowhere again and starts pushing his garbage cryptocurrency. This is going to be bad. This is going to be very bad because the people in government aren't that bright. They're really not. Okay. Politicians, they're not that smart. They don't see this coming. The people that high-paid executive lawyers and, people on Wall Street are significantly more intelligent than any politician that's out there. Okay. That's who we should be asking advice for, to go like, hey, where can this go wrong? And they'll tell you because they saw it 10 years ago where it was going to go wrong. So anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I look forward to hearing from you.